Hello again. In this video, I want to show you how contributions are added to the pass account. Um, so if we start here in cell A10, um, you'll see that this line it has to do with cash in, or what is being deposited into the pass. And there's three potential types of income listed underneath it, which include on line 11, SSI back pay or resources. This is something, these are typically for like one-time deposits and are more the exception than the rule. So I'm going to skip over this for now and tell you about the other two, and we'll come back to this. The second one is unearned income, which again is usually SSDI, but could be other forms of unearned income. And line 13 shows wages or net earnings for self-employment or earned income that might be going into a pass. So there's those three possibilities. I'm going to start with the unearned income here on line 12. So again, this is often SSDI, but it could be things like unemployment insurance or pandemic unemployment insurance or money from a trust fund. It could be different things, but it's money that comes in monthly that people aren't working for. And in this case, for Joanna, she receives SSDI. And so that we know that the general rule about contributing SSDI to a pass is that you can contribute all but $20 a month. But up here at the top, in this calculator, you could add her unearned income here. And again, I'm on cell B2. If I add in her $900 of SSDI, the calculator will show me in cell D2 the amount that she can contribute to her pass. And again, this is a fairly easy calculation. It's unearned income minus 20. But you'll see that it calculates it for you. So she has $880 a month that she can contribute to a pass plan. So let's say she's planning on submitting her pass application in early February, and she hopes that if that's the case, that she can start saving for her pass in March. So if I go, in this case, it's cell D12, which shows her what she's putting into the pass plan in March. I'm going to type in 880 in there, showing that as her pass contribution. And we know that she can contribute that monthly. So I'm going to drag that across for the whole year, and it'll show you that 880 going in each month. So, so that's all you need to do for unearned income. For earned income, that shows in this next line on line 13. So let's say that Joanna also has a part-time job. And remember that while she has her part-time job, she's not earning enough for it to affect her SSDI. But once the pass is approved, her SSDI is being set aside and she's living off SSI. And SSI is impacted by other earned income, right? They do that calculation that you might remember it's minus 65 or excuse me, minus 20 minus 65 divided by 2. So what we're looking for here is the amount of countable earned income that she has that she could potentially contribute to the pass, because if she doesn't contribute it to the pass, it's going to reduce her SSI anyway. So it's kind of a use it or lose it deal. So let's say in her part-time job that Joanna is earning about $645 a month gross. And if I enter that amount into cell B3 under wages and net earnings from self-employment, once I calculate that, it will automatically show me what her countable earned income is, and that is the same as what's going to be contributed to the pass. So while she has $645 in wages, the countable portion of that is $290. And you don't have to do the calculating. You can just plug it in on the calculator above, and it shows you. So let's assume then if she is going to contribute that each month, because again, if she doesn't contribute that $290 from her wages, her SSI will be reduced by $290. So it's a use it or lose it deal. So she's going to use it. She's going to put her $290 in each month here. And I'm going to drag that across as well. And you'll see now she has between her SSDI and her earned income, she's contributing $1,170 a month to her PASS. And that can add up pretty quickly. So now I told you to go back to line 11 here that says SSI back pay and resources. So this is sort of an odd category. You may never use this, so don't get bogged down in the detail here. But what an SSI back pay is here is, and remember, SSI usually doesn't go into a PASS plan, but this is kind of an exception, is that it usually happens when somebody puts in their PASS application, but it doesn't get approved right away. And so because they weren't able to set aside, in this case, their SSDI during that waiting period because they needed it to live on, SSI kind of goes back and gives them a back payment. So let's say that Joanna submitted her PASS application in February with the plan that it would start in March. But it actually, because of some delays, doesn't get approved until May. So that means there were a couple of months there where she thought she was going to be able to set aside her SSDI, and that didn't really happen. And she wasn't able to set aside her SSI either, because she wasn't eligible for SSI then. So it changes the whole thing. So if she didn't get to set aside this money in these months, and they approve it in May, but they really are backdating it until April. So let's say that because she would have been eligible for those 2 months had the application been approved more quickly, they might give her a back pay of what would be equal to 2 months of SSI. And the SSI rate for 2021 is $794 a month. So times 2, that's $1,588. So there might be this potential where I could add that money in here. And again, it's usually a one-time payment. Once it's done, you're not going to use this category anymore. The other thing that could potentially be going into a PASS are resources. So if somebody has resources over $2,000, which is the resource limit for SSI, they wouldn't be eligible to get SSI, so they couldn't use PASS. But if they agreed to spend down some of those resources by putting them into the PASS plan, then they're not counted. So let's say that Joanna recently came into an inheritance and her grandmother passed away and left her $8,000. And because of that $8,000, she wouldn't be eligible for SSI, so she couldn't use PASS. But she has decided that she wants to contribute some of that money to her PASS plan. And she'd have to contribute enough to bring her under $2,000. So let's say she's agreed to contribute $6,500 to her plan to help her start a business or to help her reach her work goal. In that case, you could add that in there too. And so in some states, self-employment policies require that people have a certain contribution, or that there's some other payer, and the other payer might be the PASS plan, it might be somebody's personal contribution, but it kind of shows that. So you can see that there's quite a bit of money going into the PASS each month. And okay, so that's the money going in. That's how the cash in section works. And I'm going to have you practice with a little activity before we go into the expense part.